All right. Is this working? Let's get started. Everyone find your seats. Let's get going. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. 1, 2, 3. Got to make it like I've got to make it. Yeah, and sleep. No one hears me unless I'm really annoying. There we go. Yeah, they hear me in the back now. Thanks. You get a laugh too. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Okay. We've got a great lineup today and love seeing everyone's faces here. We've got a few things we want to go through and just share what's coming up and make sure that you guys are all aware. Let's go through those real quick. So we've got a few, let's see, our vendor is not yet here, but we want to see if there's any bucket fills. First of all, is there anyone that has seen someone else do, who knows what a bucket fill? That's kind of like something that we've heard of for a while, but some people are like, I have no idea what a bucket fill is. Who can tell us what a bucket fill is? Yep. And a lot of times it's like, hey, I see someone else did this. I want to fill their cup, fill their bucket. So what's something that you guys have seen of a fellow agent, another person in the marketplace, someone else in the office? Emily has one right here.
So one of Hiram's buyers was just saying that because he closed on a house and all of the smoke detectors went off and he had to change the batteries and it was hectic and it was crazy. And they were saying, who is your boss? Who can I call and say how amazing you are? What is it? So thank you, Hiram, for being a good representation of us out in the world. And there's a million things like that happen, right? We get praise from our people, but we don't always hear it. So thanks for telling me about that. Go Hiram.
Awesome. Let's get.
I feel like we should be like kind about it.
Yeah, there we go. Look at two more. So I'm thinking one over on this side and one in this corner. Who has something?
I've always got one.
Yep, Robin.
Okay.
And then over here, someone think about something.
I cried this week about a situation. It was so stressful. I texted Mike Carmody here. Mike, need help. I might have done something wrong. And he helped me walk through the paperwork, the contract. What did I say? What did I email? What did they say? What are they saying I didn't do? Anyway, he just helped me. I was super keyed up, like chest pounding. I'm like, I can't even talk to my client. I'm going to go crazy. Anyway, he just took the time very quickly to talk to me and walk through it. And then he followed up shortly thereafter and was like, did I help you? Was it worth it? Can I do anything better? I'm like, this was amazing. I'm kind of getting teared up, so I'm going to stop. But it was fantastic. Thank you, Mike.
Yes. Right over here, Aaron. Thank you.
So I'm a new agent here.
Awesome. Tell us your name. Yes.
I'm Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah, so I was an agent over at the Salt Lake office for 2 years, and I was out of the business for about 8 months. And I wanted to thank Carrie because she was the best in setting me up here, and everyone I've met so far has made a great first impression on me, and I'm just really excited. So looking forward to meeting everyone, and yeah, that's my.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Okay, so a few things keep on top of your mind. We do have a vendor spotlight. They're coming in a little bit later. They're bringing lunch, so we want to say thank you to them when they come. This Wednesday, tomorrow, we've got Value Squared. Who is here for the first one? The second one? Who has done it? Who's seen it already? Okay. If you haven't, there's two more, and this is one of those. So this is one of those that's like we are asking everyone to come and to come in person. With that, just so you guys are aware, that usually complicates parking a little bit, so be aware of that. Get all your frustrations out today. Just know that it's coming. But That's a good thing. That means we've got a lot of people that are participating. So put this on your schedule if you have not been there, seen it already. This is tomorrow, starting at 11 o'clock. Okay. Next one, we've got our cash flow game night. There you are. I think we saw you in here. Do you want to talk about this one?
Who I actually should have talk about it is Robin.
Guys, I got to stand up for this. So I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'll come. It has to do with investing. And I wanted to bring my husband because he is afraid of investing, even though we have property, but he doesn't. I do. They're just in my name. He's always worried about it. And we came to the game night, and it's back here. It's really, really fun. It's like life on the game Life, but on steroids, and it's about investing. And my husband won the game, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can't believe it. What, oh, we should invest." I'm like, "No duh, honey." Like, it totally worked. The purpose I brought him for worked. What's so cool is you could come with someone you could send some clients, because it's really hands-on without real money exchanging hands. You're practicing. Daylise and her husband are very experienced at this. So they walk you through, and we had someone from cross country there and us and another agent, like kind of a random group. And we had the best time. My husband goes, we should buy that game. So you guys, it's really fun. You should come.
So the 6:30 is just so that we can get the game set up. Really, you could show up at 10 minutes till, but we want to start the game right at 7. We try to wrap it up about 8:15. I have a speed version of it, so it doesn't take as long as Monopoly. So we kind of cut to the chase. And with this speed version, people actually get out of the rat race, which is the whole point, is we want to prove. So it's a lot of fun. You can come with your investing partner. You can just come as yourself. You can bring clients. You can come by yourself, whatever you want. It's really fun. I've been doing it. You may not know this, but I've actually been doing it for 2 years at this office. So I'm really excited to have the brokerage promoting it more, because I'd love to be able to help all of you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Daylise. Thanks for your efforts in this. I've gone to her game night before, and it's a lot of fun. This is also the game, probably, I don't know, 12 years ago, I bought my first rental property, which has eventually turned into a 1031 into a bigger property. So this stuff works. And I'm excited for your husband, Robin, being able to see the light and the opportunity. We've got this coming up April 10th. Our very own Emily and Todd Hayes. They're coming to talk to us about how to skyrocket your production in 12 weeks. Yep.
You guys know who Thea is. She runs Banking Place. So it's like a big nationwide, kind of worldwide network of agents. And they are highlighting and interviewing these guys on the big national platform. So this is a virtual class, but it's awesome. These guys are killing it right now in this market. And so they're kind of sharing some of their tricks and stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Also coming up, casino night this Friday. Anyone want to talk about that? Amy?
So this is our big fundraiser for our Red Day that's coming up in May. We changed the buy-in to $30 a person. That $30 buy-in buys one duffel bag for a foster child. So we would love to have as many of you come as possible. Invite your friends, neighbors. You can RSVP at that QR code, just so we have an idea for food and tables and space. So yes, there will be adult drinks there.
It's fun.
I'm not good at telling everybody all the details for what it is. So what this is it's kind of it's a piggyback off of the value squared class. Hi. Sean, hi. It's a it's a piggyback off of that, where it's the actual tools of what you do to show your value. So value squared is we need to show our value more than ever, and it's kind of the vision around that. This is another KWRI class, but it's the actual detail what our clients need right now. And so the Home Hub, we have specific tools that we're building for that to have a quick, fast plugin for it. It's going to be really cool. And then Kipper also got it CE certified, some of these classes. So if you're needing class, you have in the next 2 weeks, you've got 8 hours worth of CE planned and 4 of those core.
Next thing on your schedule.
So annoying. I just want you to know that I also annoy myself. No, I don't think we're not going to be able to zoom it there at the board. Plus, we don't want to, but I do want you to be able to go. But we'll do more of that. We just really want to bring everybody to it and physically be there. The reason that we did this, so this is the all county team meeting that I do every quarter. And the reason that we brought these 3 in is because they are killing it at investing right now in this market. So how do you get started? What were their first steps? What do they see going forward? What things are they excited about? How are they adjusting with the market and things like that? And they all 3 teach and invest in a lot of things. Also, I don't know if you know, Josh Johnson owns Goat, that hair cutting place, and the spa. So they're each of them invest in things other than real estate. So talking about they invest in a lot of real estate, but also other things, kind of how they got there, how it got started, that kind of thing.
You want to just hang on to this? So we actually want to invite Emily back. We've got a few things that we want to share with you guys. Is there anything you want to say first?
I don't know. You could start.
Okay. So a few things we'll share. And the first one that I want to say is about myself. I am stepping out of the team leader role and focusing more on real estate. Just a little more time to do that. And so many of you guys know I've been an agent for years, and this has been exciting and wonderful. I do want to say that my favorite thing that was something that excited me from the very beginning. How I can be a benefit. Hopefully, in some ways, I have to those that have been able to help. But overall, it's been a wonderful time. There's a time that's needed for everything, and so I'm excited to be able to focus a little more on real estate and other endeavors as well. And love you guys. So, but luckily, and we're not going anywhere. KW, as we spread, and this is the right place. Genuinely, not just the world I felt like. We'll still be around, and in a lot of ways, we need to go in a leadership role, not excited, and be able to listen to whoever's up in front. So, yeah.
And yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me. I want to say thank you. Seriously, it's been a really challenging. He took this on the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. So much has happened in this time period, and just really grateful for what you have done. This has been kind of in the works. We've been talking about this for quite a bit. And, he knows this is a time that it's 110% in your business or 110% in your leadership role. And he just really wanted to make sure that he was doing the best thing for him and his family, which I totally respect. He asked me if I was mad at him, and I am over it. I'm not mad anymore. But I care more about him than I do about, you know, we can figure it out. Which we're gonna lock the doors and we're gonna figure out a team leader from somebody in this room before the meeting's over. Just kidding. But really, I'm coming back full time, so I had to untie some of my obligations. So I'll be back here, and I brought Carrie with me. So Carrie and I are going to be your full-time team here on the growth side, and to help you. So we're excited to get back. You know, I'm very invested in this office, being the operating principal here. This has been really, I've not liked that my time has been divided in some ways. So I'm really excited to just be able to be full-time back here, because this is where my heart is with you guys, and be able to see you every day and be able to help you with your business and grow. So grateful we'll still have Tyler around. I'm manipulating him to be on the ALC. We're still talking about it. But really be able to have all his influence also. Any questions about that part? Anybody? Let's give.
I'm locking the door and I'm staying. Oh, just kidding.
Okay. I don't know.
Nope. Leaving the keys, leaving the office,
I don't know.
taking a new office.
Yeah, he'll be here in the office. Yeah. Let's like show him our thanks, you guys. Let's give him a big old. Appreciate it. So this is like his final full-time week. We'll be transitioning and then back. So on Monday, yeah, it'll be a little bit different. Which now what? Should we go to the next one?
Yep. Keep on going.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then we have another big change. And I think a lot of you already know about this. This is something that's also been in the works for a little bit. Come here. I know I just heard a whimper. Somebody was just crying a little bit. So yeah, do you want to, yeah. I just want to, I don't read it, but I want to
No one's here.
goodbye.
Sorry.
All righty. So 8 years ago, I had a small team, and it imploded in the space of 6 weeks. So I had mud on my face, thinking, what's my next step? I enrolled in broker school. I didn't tell anybody. And oddly enough, Emily approached me and said, hey, we're looking to get a broker. Are you interested? Thought it was coincidence, and I took that ride. I did, maybe. Anyways, back in October of this year, I sent out a text to Emily. I know you don't break up by text, but I did. I sent it to Emily, Tyler, and Amy. I said, it's time to meet. It's time for a changing of the guard. And so 6 months, it's taken 6 months. And the main thing I wanted was, I want to make sure that there's a transition, that it's somebody that I can look at and say, this is somebody that I can go with questions. And so even though my desire was to be done as a broker in February, it's taken 2 more months to find the right person. And so, yes, that's the announcement. I am officially this week switching gears. I'll be full-time commercial. Mike, come on up for a minute. So Mike is going to be the new broker as soon as the paperwork's official with the state, which should be Monday. So you can have 2 brokers for 3 more days, but I'm going to ignore your phone call. Mike, write your phone number on the board. Everyone pull out your phone, and I want you to pull up my name, delete my phone number, and put his phone number there. No, I'm just kidding. If you have questions, I'm going to discuss some things that I've learned as a broker over the last 8 years. But if you have questions right now, rather than raising your hand, I want you to text Mike, because he's going to filter out the dumb questions and save those for when he's broker next week, and we're going to get the elevated questions and answer them. I hope that's okay. All right. Are we good? I'm still have my lesson. We're good.
I know. I don't want to slow his roll, but I do just want to, you guys, like, let's hear it for the boy.
All right. Thank you.
Honestly, like, thank you. It's been a crazy ride, and we went from the worst, right? Claire, can I get a what? We went from the worst to the best. KW franchise, and in the state, and so much of that has to do with you and the support and the help, and I'm just so grateful for your care, for your like humor. I know you care a lot about these agencies, helped us get through a lot of really tricky situations. He cares a lot about you. He acts like he doesn't. Just with those comments, I'm just kidding, but he like really does care about the success of this company, and I'm so grateful. I understand 8 years is a very long time
Right.
to have, $1 billion worth of real estate on your, on your license, and I really, really appreciate everything that you've done
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right. Well, I probably will go into hiding. I am an introvert by choice. And so after today, it may be a little bit trickier to find me, but let's, I gave Tyler an envelope over a year ago, and I've had to update it. I was able to find the file I gave him, but it was an emergency team meeting. Well, I guess the emergency is going to be today, and I'm going to discuss some things that, a lot of it's common knowledge. I'm not going to lie, but some of it is things that I want to discuss. So my first lesson as a broker I've learned is it's never going to be perfect. And I think of a story of, in the common area, there was a newer agent that started the morning and he was designing his business card. I came to print something. 3 hours later, I came back and he was still designing his business card. Right there, I knew he was in the wrong industry. He did end up leaving, but whether it's a business card or a photo or a presentation, a training, it doesn't need to be perfect. My advice is make it good enough to be a B presentation, because once you have that, then you can perfect it. But if you are waiting for it to be perfect, you will lose opportunities. Second lesson I have, you need to know your contracts and your role as an agent. So I'm going to put everyone on the spot right now. In the standard REPC, you know it. How many deadlines are there? We know that there's 4 in section 24, right? How many more are there? Are there 5? Everybody raise their hand and you pull it down when you think our deadline stops. So everybody up at 4. Are there 5 deadlines? Okay, you guys are out already because of participation. 6, 7, few down. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we have nobody up after 12. Knowing the REPC is going to help strengthen you. Let's just go through the deadlines quickly. This wasn't planned, but you have earnest money deadline of 4 days. Then the broker has 4 days to turn it in. You have section 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, which is settlement, closing, possession. So we're at 5. Then we jump to section 7, seller disclosure, 6. 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4. So now we're at 10. Section 11, final walkthrough. That's on a subject to sell. The 2.2, does it have a deadline now? It might. And then you have the acceptance deadline. So 11 or 12, depending on how you want it. Too many people feel like there's 4 deadlines. There's 11 or 12, depending on how you analyze it. So please know your contracts. Hiram, thank you for knowing what I was going to say. Okay. No matter how good you know your contracts, the next lesson I've learned is a good attorney can get you out of any contract. So just because you think you've created a bulletproof, you can't hold that client hostage. If they want to get out, they're going to find a way to get out, assuming they have the connections and the wherewithal to approach an attorney. All right. I put in this note that it's good to call the broker. I'm going to start to brainstorm ideas with Mike now that he's the broker if I change. Even though many of you sell more than me, it's still important to reach out to the broker with those questions. That's going to save you a lot of heartache. And even in this room, I believe we have 4 or 5 past principal brokers. And I know you guys have reached out to me as well. It's how the state sees it. And that's a critical point. And you're going to learn very quickly on that. So, all right. So lesson number 3, I titled, "It's Not About the Money." This took a long time for me to learn. When you realize it doesn't matter what you make, the money's going to come in better than it ever did previously. I think of let's see. When I talk about the money as well, there's one other section I want to add is you need to know what your value is. So I'm going to give you a lesson, Mike. About 3 or 4 times a year, somebody will call and say, "Rich, I'm firing this client. I cannot handle them any longer." I understand. Oftentimes I'll ask, are we under contract or we just have agency? Sometimes they'll tell me we're even under contract and they want to fire the client. So then I will ask, how many hours left do you have working with this client? Oh, probably 8. What's your commission going to be? 12,000. So let's take 12,000 divided by 8. And if my math's right in my head, $1,500 an hour, right? Remaining. Then I will ask the agent, are you willing to suffer with this client for $1,500 an hour? They always smile. Maybe they don't, but they always say, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I will go through it. And so if your dollar per hour is greater than that, though, then go ahead and switch. If you're making more than $1,500 an hour, yeah, fire them. One of the questions I had last night. Do we have any questions coming in? Not yet. That's okay. I have plenty, I think. Let's see. Sorry. So one of the questions that I had you guys ask is, if I were in my first year of real estate, how would I build a pipeline? How to make my use of time optimal? Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to suggest on this, but I'm going to tell you what I did when I almost got out of the business. So my 4th year in business, maybe it was my 5th. It was worse than it is now. The market, it was 2009. I remember 2 lessons I learned from that. Lesson number 1 is, the longer you're in the business, there's no question you will be burned. What I have found is about every 2 years, somebody that I felt like was loyal would burn me, whether it was a buyer broker, whether it was a listing, something else. And I remember working on a deal with my relative. Biggest deal I had ever at that point, 700,000, which is probably equivalent to 2 million now. And my relative decided to buy a property with someone else. Yes, I had a buyer broker. I'm not going to go sue them. And this was a low moment. And then the next year, I was starving, for lack of better words. I don't know, I'm getting emotional, but I made the goal that I was going to knock doors every day of the month in February. It was right after New Year's. It was freezing. And I still remember exactly where I started. I chose this townhome community off, it's called no, it is, there's 40 townhomes. I couldn't think of a smaller neighborhood to start on. I was so scared. I chose the smallest one, knocked it. My very first answer, they said, yeah, I want to buy a house. I felt like that was a gift. I finished knocking it. I added 3 to my database. Fast forward, I reached out to that person that said they wanted to buy a house, and they ghosted me from there on out. But it was a blessing in disguise because I'm good. Thank you. I was able to push it. Next day, I knocked a community of 129 townhomes in Castle Hill Draper. I added some more to the database. And then after that, it was easy peasy. I would knock from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And I would add typically about 20 people to my database. It was cold, it was hard, but I was desperate. I had to do it. So after that month, I had one that was a true listing come March, and 2 others that became listings in September, October. And so my advice, that question was, what would you do different? If I didn't know what to do, I would get in front of people, because people are going to be generally nicer to you face to face than over the phone. So have that, and that's what I still try to do now, is have the meetings face to face so that I can create that connection with them. Let's see. Starting over with technology today, what would I do to create stronger residential business? This is going to shock Kimber, but she's not here. Honestly, I would, oh my gosh. Well, I would have probably adopted Command, and I still would. I would lean towards that technology. I have fought it forever, but that's what I would do if I were starting new. All right. It says, what is your biggest regret and why? Now, this is one, I have a lot of regrets, but everyone does. The regret I would say that came to my mind is not realizing the power of a team. So that lesson that I gave you earlier of calculating your value, I thought a TC, I felt like I could do an hourly rate quicker than that, and it was still worth my time to do my own TC business. I did that for years. But what I have learned since being on multiple teams is there's a collaboration that is with teams. And now with the NAR change, I believe what we're going to see is brokerages, and I think we're going to start to see more major teams to react to the new policy. But lean towards it. A good team is worth their money, and it should really be a win-win. That's one thing that I was a lone wolf for many, many years. Questions yet? It's okay. Yep. Thank you. Next question that was asked, what is your proudest moment as a broker? If you're newer than 2 years, I'm sorry, but before that, I really monthly or even sometimes more frequently, I would send out these broker moments. And I did one that was called the Repsy Encyclopedia. And what I did is I took every paragraph and I basically wrote 1 to 2 pages on every paragraph. It was so geeky, but I loved it. And it's still in our files, so you're welcome to access that. And so what is the main reason for having a broker? Oftentimes people misview what the broker's responsibility is. Oftentimes they're calling us and asking us to solve an earnest money dispute. Well, we don't get to be the attorneys and determine if a deal gets to be released or not. If it's very clear, then we get to follow those rules. Otherwise, we have to have certain safeguards. But really what the broker is to be a buffer, because we're dealing with those questions that come up just once in a while for you. We're dealing with them daily, and it allows you to get your frustration off and have somebody that can manage it. And hopefully the other broker is going to be clear in head, and we'll look for a win-win situation. So that's how I see the ultimate view of what the broker needs to be doing. Let's see. This group's getting quiet, so I guess I should tell what lessons have I learned from watching other agents? Well, I'll tell you, I will tell this story. This is the one where people want to ask about the crazy story. I tell this one. I might tame it down. Is that okay with you too? You probably know which one I'm going to say, right? So I get this call from an agent. He says, Rich, I have to meet with you. And he's brand new. It's his very first listing that he's coming to discuss to me with. He's like, now, I have to start off with, I don't know if this is true, but this is what my client told me. So basically, I was having some beers with my client, and my client tells me that I hit on his wife in front of his daughter, and he got in a fight and somehow punched me unconscious, and I woke up on the grass. Now, Rich, I promise that's not me. So my policy was I'm never going to fire anyone the day of a discussion. I try to do the same thing. I keep my cool. So I slept the night on it. I called them back the next day. I said, even if you didn't do this, the fact that you blacked out, you're too much of a liability. And so I did let him go. But that was so crazy that I don't know. There's some other ones, I'm sure. I did tame it down though, I'm sure. There were some details. So the moral of that one, don't get drunk with your clients till post-closing. So okay. This is a lesson I'm still learning today. This is later in the things I've learned, but lesson number 6 is do it today. I put 3 subheaders in it. Show up and do what you say you'll do. It's your reputation. You need to do that. The second thing I put is there is no tomorrow. Where I talked about my regrets, sometimes I tried to perfect things, and then when I called that opportunity that was in my mind, it was gone. So don't wait for that perfect, but if you have that hunch to act on something, do it that day. And the final one, but that's still hard with me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not perfect at that. And then the other one that I have is it only takes 5 seconds of courage. We don't have to have a lot of courage to survive in this industry. And my team can attest that even now, when I dial some people, I will type their phone number and then I will sit and stress about it for up to 15 minutes. And somewhere in there, sometime, eventually that 5 seconds will hit that green button and it's too late. I'm now calling that person I don't want to talk to, but I do because they have something that it's exciting to sell. You just need that little bit of courage, because once you push it, your natural human self is going to be able to communicate to them. And so that would be one of my big challenges to you is if you get that impression, do it that day. And if it's still scary, give yourself permission to have 5 seconds of courage. I mean, you can still stall, but get courage sometime. All right. Let's see. I would suggest if section R162, if you were to Google R162 Utah, you're going to see all the code of Utah. It's not very long. It's about 31 pages on a PDF. If you get rid of the property management stuff, you're down to about 18 pages. If you read that, you're going to know as much as most brokers. So let's do it. What do you think of this? Anyone want to guess? Jen? Might be. Yeah, that's probably accurate as well. What do you think? It very well may be. How many of you skip over the section of the paragraph in the buyer broker that states you put a commission in there and you state, this is just, I will take whatever the MLS pays me. And then you skip that bottom paragraph that states that they will pay the difference. How often do we skip that? I believe the majority of people do. I wish they would clean that section up, but I would say that. So I would say people skirting over how they are paid is probably a very common one. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. I think they should if they don't, but I'm licensed in Colorado as well. And Colorado has a spot that you have 3 check boxes. I will take what's offered on the MLS. I will, if the MLS is not sufficient, you will pay the difference. And then there was a third option. I can't think of what it is, but I think something like that will come first. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I would say agency. I would say some of the advertising. So we're texting, Aaron. You're good. Well, I'm going through this quick, so somebody text something or we're getting out early, but that's okay too. Let's see. Uh-huh. Okay. There's not very many pages we need to know. We need to know the buyer broker. We need to know the due diligence, the wire fraud. We need the exclusive right to sell and the REPSI. And you should know some of the most common addenda, such as contingent upon a home selling or the time clause. It surprises me still to this day how many people don't understand Section 8 of the rep C. So rather than putting anyone on the spot, no, we're gonna draw this out. Okay. So if my deadline for due diligence is Monday, I can cancel for any reason and get my earnest money back. If I cancel on Tuesday, if it 8.2 is appraisal, if I cancel on Tuesday, it's past 8.1. So if I cancel that, I have to attach the low appraisal with my cancellation. If I cancel on Wednesday, we're going to look at section 8.3 BI, right? If it's blank, then you can cancel without penalty. And if it's not blank, then that amount goes back to buyer. The question sometimes is, what if you cancel after that, but before settlement? Is that a default? It's not. The contract allows you to cancel after all of the deadlines prior to settlement, and it talks about what happens to the earnest money. But the most common question is, hey, you canceled probably on a due diligence item per section 8.3, but it was left blank. So they try to enforce that it's late and that they should get some money, but if it says $0 there, they're going to get a zero. If there's a number in there, let's say $1,500, that's really where we would look if it were based off appraisal. You get to teach that next month. So, any other questions? Okay. Yeah, follow the model. Yeah, if I were doing a team, my first one is bringing in a showing agent and a TC. Those would be my first steps. I think that is the model, but it may not be. I think TC is. Good. The easy one. Okay. Does it have the agent name or phone number? Then no. That's how you know if you need your logo. If they personal swag like a hat and stuff, does it need to have KW? If you have your team name, but it doesn't say a phone number or a website or anything else, the main person, then yes, you could have the swag without the KW. But the moment you put a phone number for them to call about business, now it needs the brokerage. That's your group. Yep. In my opinion, that's okay. Then it should have the disclosure. Okay, what's the hard one? Look, there was some cartoon of two types of agents. There's those that are scared with the new policy and those that are so thrilled because it gives you so much opportunity. I'm not worried yet. If you're scared, you need to get on a team. If you can figure out how to navigate it with the changes, then you'll be fine. I know that's skirting the issue, but it's it's nothing to be scared about. Claire?
After 46 years in business, all I can say to you is be yourself. Have a heck of a lot of fun with this, because ultimately all it's going to do is you're just going to make sure that your sphere of influence is solid. They know your value, and be sure to toot your horn with regards to that. But don't be obnoxious. People just want to work with people they know and love.
That's good. If it's a link that is limited with a certain amount of characters, like Twitter or X or whatever it's called, then yes. But if there's space on the page, then it should be there. Claire? Biggest success, we'll do that in a minute. Hiram? If you were to read that section I gave you, R162, and you read that 3 times over 3 months, you're going to get more out of it than the broker course would. So you don't learn more in the broker school unless you're going to be Mike or myself and be a principal broker. I don't think it's worth it personally. But yes, there is some more credibility. And if you want to say, hey, I'm a broker and that's what you want, great, do it. But if you're not going to be a principal broker, there's other things I would do first. As a principal broker or a broker? The one nice thing about being a principal broker is I can sign my own exclusive right to sell. I can be with a client and sign it right there and get it done with. That's one huge advantage. Other than that, I mean, some of our associate brokers can't do that, but they've changed it where on the addendum to the exclusive right to sell, it now says or authorized agent. So we're changing things where it's a whole lot more authorized agent. And once the broker approves the form, you're good. So I don't know. Oh, yeah. If you're ever on the call and another broker calls you and they say, look, I'm a broker and I know it because of X, or if someone says I've been in business this long, whatever they're going to say after that is total crap. So if I ever play that line with you moving forward, hey, I've been a broker, just ignore me. And that's what you should do with others too. I'm true. That's true. I mean, you've been doing that for 30 years wrong. Well, good for you, but no. All right. Last time for questions. We're at 11:54. You don't even have to text it. No. I don't know.
I always knew when Rich was having a hard day because he would come out of the office and sigh, just then I always knew we would need like a sit down. And when we were sitting down talking, he would always use these one-liners that were just memorable. In fact, Kimber's compiling a book right now of Rich one-liners. So one of his one-liners was, we were talking about maybe a relationship in my life. I don't even know. But Rich said, you know, to be honest, I just really don't like people. In general.
I don't remember that, but who knows? I do like people.
So if you see Rich around the office and he sighs, just give him a pat on the back and say that
All
you
right.
love him.
Thanks, Carrie. All right. So Claire, your question was, what was the biggest success? I mean, the biggest success was probably last year when our client got wire fraud, $13 million. And we were able to somehow miraculously get that deal to close without that 13 million and allow him to get that back. And I was on conversations with 3 different attorneys for the 3 parties, and it was limited agency. And I remember one on the team said, should we disclose this to the other party of what we think? And I said, absolutely not. They all 3 have attorneys, and we're not going to interpret this contract for them. So, but wire fraud is real, even for people. But that one we got to the finish line, and then a foolish wire, and we still made it work. That was probably the biggest one for me. But so parting thought. There was one more question. It said, what are your big dreams for your life, career, etc.? My goal is to sell a casino, a stadium, whether it's an arena or stadium or something, and really create a system for commercial real estate. You guys have had a system as realtors with the MLS. It's the Wild West in commercial. And if you can just systemize it a bit, there's so much money. And so that's really where I'm taking it. Last thought, there's producers all across the board here, whether you do 1 deal a year, whether you do 1 deal a day. I mean, to the brokerage, you guys are all valuable. And where we have it is that you create that camaraderie. If you're adding and building people up, you're such a good benefit to the brokerage, excuse me. And really, that's what I want you to end with, is knowing that, well, somebody I looked up to had this notebook, and on the top of every page it said, who you are makes a difference. And I do want you to know that each of you are making a difference of KW South Valley Keller Williams. It's been a pleasure being your broker. I look forward to you guys. If you need any commercial needs, feel free to reach out. If not, Mike's your man. Love y'all.
Yay. Thank you so much. We'll get you a map so you can see where his office is. So you can go by it. Honestly, thank you so much. It is so critical to have a good broker. It's critical to have somebody that's entrenched in that. Thank you for all of that. I'm super excited for also that we have the opportunity to have Mike step into that. He's also part owner here. He's super invested to help start this franchise. So we'll spend some time getting to know him also, so you guys can continue to learn about him and see how he can help you as well. I just want to say my vision for this company has always been and continues to be, if not even more than ever, that we have an incredible opportunity to help as, a leadership team to help you build your life that you want. And a sign of a good brokerage is, for me, is that you are fulfilled, that you have a good life, that you're doing the things with your family that you wanted to do. You're investing, you're doing these things and these goals, and we've helped provide some connection and path for that. If you ever feel like you're not getting that, or there's something more that you need, please, if you don't know me well enough, I hope that you know and really take it serious, that I do want to know what those things are, that we do want to help connect you with what's going to help your life. And let's work together and let's buoy each other up, and let's just build the best brokerage. This is a time that we can unite, and we'll all be better for it, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, our vendor, thanks for lunch. We've got Alicia. Come on down.
Good afternoon, everybody. Is this on? I don't know. Can you hear me? So thank you for having me. That's a tough act to follow. Some of you have met me before. I was here a couple weeks ago, and Aaron gave me a call and asked me to come out again. And so I'm just thrilled to be here. We're Finco Refrigeration. My better half is not able to be here today. He was here last time. That my husband and I started our company a couple of years ago, and he is out in the field. You guys got us busy working since the last time we were here. We're very grateful. And so he's out in the field today and could not join me. He's qualified to answer most of your HVAC questions. I'm qualified to feed people and I like to chit chat. So um, I will give you the rundown on what we're offering right now. We have an awesome promotion. We are doing, typically we do HVAC tune-ups around this time of year. And so we come out and we do your spring tune-up on your air conditioner, make sure it's ready. But we've got a promotion right now where we're selling a package, essentially, normally a $250 value. We come out in the spring, we fix your or check on your AC, and then we'll come out again in the fall and check on your furnace to make sure it's working. The benefit of doing it this way in a package is that if you have any problems throughout the summer, it's the middle of July, and you have yourself or a tenant that calls and says, it's 100 degrees and I'm dying in here. You call us, we come out, no charge to you. And we figure out what's going on in there. We feel so confident that when we do those tune-ups that we're going to be able to forecast what's possibly going to happen. And we'll let you know and let you decide if you want to take care of those. So again, this is normally $250 a year. We're doing a promo for $125. So you can get signed up on a tune-up plan for $125 and take care of your air conditioner and furnace. I know a lot of you are going, well, you know, you have obviously you're all realtors, you're selling a lot of homes. How will that benefit you? The way that it could benefit you is Robin took us up on this offer. She's gotten a couple of clients that they're selling their house. We're coming in, we're not only tuning up the furnace or the air conditioner, because it's time to do that. We're also taking care of the furnace. So they're walking in knowing exactly what's going on before they put that house on the market. And if you run into any problems, if you have your inspector come out and says, hey, there's something wrong with this AC, you give us a call and we come out. You already paid for the package. So it's kind of a benefit. Like I said, you can utilize it however you like. But like I said, it works really well if you're, just want to go, I just want to know this is taken care of. My client wants to know it's handled. We come out, take care of it. Any problems will come back out. And again, if any of you have renters, properties that you want to manage, this is a great program. Oftentimes tenants, as we well know nothing about their air conditioner, how it works. They just know that they're going to call you when it breaks. So just having us on, on speed dial and we can take care of you. But we'd love the opportunity to work with you guys. Again, I'm Alicia. My husband's Olay. We have a couple other crew members you'll meet probably at some point. But anyway, I got some lunch back there. Hopefully it's enough to feed all of you guys. Enjoy. And I'm back there. I've got flyers you can grab. You can certainly ask me questions. And thanks again for having me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Huh?